Welcome to this eLearn Security video lesson on the nokogiri library. Nokogiri is an HTML, XML, SAX, and reader parser. One of the most important nokogiri features is the ability to search documents via XPath or CSS3 selectors. Particularly in this video, we're going to see how to use the nokogiri to parse HTML documents. We will mainly use the PRI interpreter in conjunction with the official nokogiri documentation because it is the best way to learn how to use the library. So let's start using nokogiri. The first thing we need is to run the PRI interpreter. Since we want to parse HTML documents, we can require the OpenURI library, which will allow us to request web resources in a very simple way. Obviously, we have to require the nokogiri library too. A simple HTML page to parse is the standard index page provided by the Apache web server on the Kali localhost. So let's start the Apache server with the command service apache2 start. As you can see, it is available on the local host. Let's now use nokogiri to parse the localhost main page. It is really simple. We can just type doc equal nokogiri ::HTML open paren http ://localhost close paren. As you can see, the interpreter shows the parsed document. Let's compare the PRI result with the HTML source from the browser. As you can see, we have exactly the same HTML code. The only difference is that in nokogiri, it is structured and parsed in a tree. Let's see now the classes of documentation. We want to know the class name because using the nokogiri documentation, we can check what the supported methods are that we can use. As we can see, the class is nokogiri ::HTML ::document. This lets us open the nokogiri documentation web page in order to explore its method. Here's a list of classes available in nokogiri. Let's select the HTML document class and inspect its methods. As we can see, we can use several methods. For example, we could use serialize, which allows us to convert the tree into an HTML string. Notice this is equal to the HTML source code seen before in the browser. Another method that we can use is title. It can be used to get the content of the title tag of the HTML document. Please pay attention to the documentation. As we can see, if there is no title tag, the title method will return nil. Indeed, since we don't have a title tag in the localhost main page, we will get nil when calling the title method. Let's now check another web resource that contains the title tag. For example, let's use www.elearnsecurity.com as the target. So let's create a new document called ELS. As you can see, using HTTP, we have an error because there is a redirection to HTTPS. Not to worry, OpenURI is a very powerful library and it supports HTTPS as well. So let's edit the previous command and use HTTPS to request the www.elearnsecurity.com main page. Now we have a real response and the HTML document is parsed and available using the ELS variable. Let's use the title method seen before. Now we have a valid title. Notice that the nokogiri HTML document methods are not the only methods that we can use. Ruby is an object-oriented language, so you can use the methods of the parent classes of the document as well. For example, the class nokogiri HTML document inherits from nokogiri XML document. And again, nokogiri XML document inherits from nokogiri XML node, so you can use methods offered by both of them. Nokogiri XML node is practically the most important class because it has methods that let you move within the tree and allows you to search elements in the node subtree. For example, let's see how to navigate through the localhost index document. Using the interpreter, we can see that the doc element has two children, a DTD node and an element node. So let's use the children method to obtain them. As you can see, we get an array containing two doc children. Since it is an array, we can use array methods to get each of them. For example, we can use first to get the first child. We can also use the bracket notation. Note that if we are on the first child, we can use nokogiri methods to move to other nodes, such as the next sibling node or the parent. You can use different strategies and methods to move between the nodes. Let's now see how to go to the first P element of the localhost index using only nokogiri methods. First, let's go to the HTML code. Now we have the HTML node on the HTML variable. Let's go into the body node. With the following instruction, let's use a variable named body to set the body of the document. Finally, let's move into the first P node. We have found the first P node. Let's store it in the first P variable. As you can see, we have reached the first P element using only the methods provided by nokogiri. Obviously, this is not a good strategy to follow if we have to search something in the tree. When you need to search something in the tree, such as a specific node, the best way is to use the searching methods provided by nokogiri. You can search using two strategies. The first is using XPath notation, while the second is using CSS selectors. The XPath method can be used to search using XPath syntax, while obviously CSS method can be used to search using CSS syntax. There's another method that can be used to search both with XPath or CSS syntax. It is the search method. Let's use all of them with a few examples. Let's suppose we want to extract all of the P elements of the localhost index page. Using the XPath notation, we can type doc.xpath, open paren, quote, / P, close quote, close paren. Remember that the double slash means that we want all the P nodes of the document, no matter what their depth is. As you can see, we have an array containing all the P nodes contained in the document. Let's now use the CSS selector in order to find P elements. We can just type doc.css, open paren, quote, P, close quote, close paren, to obtain the same result. As you can see, search can be used both with CSS and XPath syntax. Obviously, the more you know about CSS selectors or the XPath syntax, the more sophisticated your extraction will be. For example, let's change our target and try to parse the eLearn Security Wikipedia resource. Let's just suppose we want to extract all the links that belong to the page. Here's our target address. Let's copy it and paste it in a variable named URL. Let's parse the URL resource using nokogiri. In order to extract all of the A tags, we can use a simple XPath query, els underscore wik dot xpath, open paren, quote, / a, close quote, close paren. Let's inspect one of the A nodes that were returned. We can select the element at position 20 in the array. As you can see, it's an element with the name A. There are also some attributes and a text child. If we want to extract an attribute, we can use the brackets. Let's extract the href value. Now let's try to print the values of the href attributes for each A tag of the ELS wiki page. It's very easy. Because XPath methods return an array of nodes where we can iterate through them using the each method. In the body of each block, we simply put to stdout the value of the href attribute. Here we have a list of the links. We also have some links with the pound value. You should know that these are used to link sections of the same page. So let's suppose we want to ignore them. We can do this by typing els underscore wik dot xpath, open paren, quote, / a, open bracket, at, href, exclamation, equal, single quote, pound, single quote, close bracket, close quote, close paren. Remember that in XPath, the brackets are used to specify a condition that a node must satisfy, and the at symbol means that the following is the name of an attribute, href in this case. So the XPath notation, / a, so on, means all the tags A that have an attribute href, which is different from pound. As you can see, there are no more pounds in the output. We can see that there are still some lines containing the pound, so let's try to delete them from the output. Our XPath query will be as follows. We'll use / a, open bracket, not, open paren, contains, open paren, at href, open quote, pound, close quote, close paren, close bracket. Not and contains are two XPath functions that combined allow us to extract nodes with href that do not contain any pound character. We suggest that you use XPath documentation to get more information about them. As you can see from the output, we do not have any lines containing the pound character. As we said before, the more in-depth your XPath knowledge, the more sophisticated your queries will be. Our example is very simple, but it can still be useful to start writing a simple crawler. If you are familiar with CSS selectors, you should know that they allow you to do the same things. Let's try to print all the href values of A tags using CSS. As you can see, we obtain the same result of the XPath / a syntax. If we want to print the A tags with hrefs different from the pound character, we can use the following syntax. A, open bracket, href, exclamation, equal, open quote, pound, close bracket. Again, we have the same results obtained with the XPath syntax. Finally, if we want a list of all the href that do not contain any pound character, we can use a, not, open paren, open bracket, href asterisk, equal, single quote, pound, single quote, close bracket, close paren. Obviously, if we use the search method, we have the same results obtained with the XPath or CSS selectors. So in this video, we've seen how to use nokogiri to parse HTML documents, navigate through the nokogiri HTML tree, and extract useful information using XPath queries or CSS selectors. We have also seen how to use the interpreter and the nokogiri documentation in order to easily navigate through nokogiri classes and methods. Remember that nokogiri is much more powerful than what we have been able to show here. We suggest that you further study the tutorials and documentation available on the nokogiri official page. This concludes our training. Thanks for joining us.